Sparty has won 4 straight. Final score from Bloomington: Michigan State 77, Indiana 64. Jackson Kohler and Jeremy Fears both put up 21 points in this one. Kohler's 21 points were a season high. The thing about Michigan State was always going to be, is there enough offense there? The defense is never going to be in question, T.O. And here they are shooting 12 of 24 from beyond the arc, shot at 50% from beyond the arc, shot at 49% from the field. Thoughts on Michigan State seemingly is rounding into form in the most important time. It's Tom Izzo time in March.
There's no question. And Kurt Ting's the greatest shooter ever play at Michigan State.
That's right.
So what do you end up, 6 of 8? No, hey,
yeah.
Here's the thing. I think today was a bad matchup for Indiana, quite frankly. I think Indiana, especially in the front courts, they're small. They're not super athletic. They're relying on shooting. Tucker DeVries, 6 of 16. And in the second half, guys, he started out okay. In the second half, 3 of 8, 1 of 5 from 3. They shut that down. They cut the water off. And whenever you're relying on a lot of sets, there's not many teams better at this point of the year than Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans. And it's because they're so well scouted and they're so physical. And we all know midway point of February, there's a lot of whistles that start being swallowed. You can be even more physical at this part of the year. This is why they thrive in March, and this is why they're going to continue to win. This is going to be a Michigan State team that you look up and it's like, oh man, am I picking them for the Final Four? Because I think I have them in the Elite Eight. And it's like they just match up with anybody because of what they do defensively. If they shoot it like they did today, they can compete with the big boys. And by the big boys, I mean in Duke, Arizona, Michigan, Florida. They're going to be able to compete. Can they win those games? It all depends on the 3 ball. But today, to me, guys, it was just a matchup disaster for Indiana. They're not super athletic, and they don't have a whole lot past DeVries and Wilkerson.
Yeah, Ty, I mean, you think about Michigan State. I know you're a big fan of Tom Izzo. A lot of respect that you have for him and his teams. It seems like this is one that he really appreciates. I mean, you talk about what he has said over the course of the year, how comparing Jeremy Fears Jr. to Mateen Cleaves, like that comparison is something that isn't thrown out there lightly. Like, he really likes this team and this group. Do you think they can make a run, like an Elite Eight Final Four run, the way it's currently constructed?
Absolutely. And in my opinion, they're one of the most disciplined teams offensively and defensively. You don't see them hemorrhage a lot of bad shots. They're not a team that relies on three-point shooting. And we all know when it comes tournament time, you got to be able to win ugly games. And I think with the way that Tom Izzo's teams are, they're going to rely on their defensive fundamentals, and they're going to have a defensive foundation that they can always fall back on that is going to keep them in games. And in particular, you look at this game, and Indiana is not a threat. I'll be honest with you on that. And, Michigan State really controlled this game from the start to the finish. This wasn't really – I mean, I know that Indiana kept it close, but I always felt like Michigan State dominated this game. And if they can shoot like this, T.O.'s right. They can compete with anybody. My question has always been, are they going to have enough outside shooting? Because if they get down big in the tournament and they have to have a lot of points in a short period of time, are they going to have sharpshooters that are going to have the ability to do that? Are they going to be able to claw their way back into the game? That's my big fear. But, it's the one thing I'll say is you talked about it, Jeremy Fears. He's one of the best leaders in college basketball. You can see when they get a little discombobulated, Jeremy Fears pulls them right back together. And I really felt like, he had a big game as well, and he's been good all year.
And Michigan State's hopes of repeating as Big Ten regular season champions is over after Michigan wrapped that up on Friday night against Illinois. But they could still get some revenge, exact some revenge. Remember, Michigan State meets Michigan in the regular season finale there. The Big Ten tournament is going to be tremendous. I did want to kind of get your thoughts, T.O., on the first year Darryn DeVries experience at Indiana. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was waiting for you to I'm still in wait-and-see mode, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm still in wait-and-see mode. I just – he brings his son along, and I'm expecting Indiana to be a surefire tournament team. I don't know if we have their resume, if they're on the bubble or not, but it's just been okay. And It's 17-12, 2-11 against quad one. Are they predicted in? Let's see, first four out. That's kind of
I don't think they're a tournament team right now. Yeah, I don't think
so either. And I'm in agreement with you. I don't think they're a tournament team. And to me, the jury's still out. I'm not going to sit here and say he can't do it, but I think a lot of times, he went from Drake to West Virginia to the Big 12 to the Big 10. Big 12 and Big 10 play massively different. I think there's going to be times where you have to understand what wins in a certain particular conference. Now he switched conferences twice. I think we're going to see the best version of him in years 2 and 3, if we are going to, because I do want to give a little bit of grace period for a guy like that who everybody knows is a good coach. It's going to take time because you have to figure out what wins in that particular league. And in the Big 10, you have to be big, you have to be physical, and you have to be well coached. I think DeVries is a really good coach. How is it going to work as far as getting the right type of players? We got to wait and see for next year. But Indiana, IU, they have the funds. I said one time they didn't have great NIL a couple years ago. That was a mistake. My bad, IU fans. My bad. That one's on me. They have the funds. Now you got to go get the right kind of players to win in that particular league. So I'm still very much in wait-and-see mode.
Yeah. Ty, curious to get your thoughts, too, because, you compare this team to like a month ago. They ended January with a blowout loss. I think they were on the road at Rutgers. Statement win against their rival in Purdue. Gritty road win over UCLA. Nick Dorn had kind of emerged as a really solid third scorer there, in Tatum Conaway's absence. Now they're on a losing streak, and things are just gone the wrong way at the exact wrong time for Indiana. So your thoughts on Darryn's first year there in Bloomington?
Well, I'm with T.O., kind of wait and see. I think you give a coach a little bit more time to really evaluate. But I will say, as far as the way that Indiana plays, I think they rely too much on outside shooting. And I think their guys have way too much freedom, and they need a little more structure. But are they a tournament team? Absolutely not, in my opinion. They don't pass the eye test. I don't care what the metrics or what the numbers say. This is their 4th loss in a row. And you have to evaluate teams from the eye test, and also how are they playing going into March? What is their current status? They have no big-time injuries. I think they're all pretty healthy. They're just not playing good quality basketball, and this is part of the problem is if we get Indiana in, now are we going to take a mid-major out that's had a really good year and has put together a decent resume, and we'd all like to kind of see a Cinderella story. Are they going to take one of those mid-major spots? So I would not put Indiana in the tournament if I'm part of the selection committee.
Still some opportunities out